10 Curious and Interesting Facts About Apple. Apple is one of the most valuable companies in the world, with a rich history full of interesting facts, some of which are still unknown. Did you know that Apple has more money than the US government, and that the MacBook Pro can actually withstand a bullet? Interesting facts about Apple, some of which will surprise you. 1. Apple has more money than the US government. It's no secret that Apple is one of the largest technology companies in the world. However, what may amaze you is that it has more money on hand than the most powerful government in the world. In fact, as Forbes magazine reported, there were times when Apple had twice as much cash as the US government. 2. The first computer from Apple sold for $666.66 US. Apple Computer, Apple I, was released in 1976 at a price of $666.66. Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak has repeatedly stressed that the price does not reflect something evil, and he simply likes to repeat numbers, contrary to what fans of conspiracy theories think. 3. The original Apple logo reflected Isaac Newton. Apple Company logo. The Apple logo is one of the most recognizable in the world. However, it didn't start out that way. The original company logo was designed by Apple co-founder Ronald Wayne and featured Sir Isaac Newton sitting under an apple tree with a quote by English poet William Wordsworth, "Newton, a mind that travels forever through strange seas of thinking alone." The original logo did not suit Steve Jobs, who believed that it was old-fashioned and would not fit well in smaller sizes. Graphic designer Rob Janoff was hired to reinvent the logo, which brings us to the bitten Apple logo we know today. 4. Apple launched a clothing line in 1986. Clothing. When people think about Apple's greatest successes, the iPhone and iPad come to mind. Most people may not know that the company briefly entered the fashion world in 1986 with the launch of the clothing line the Apple Collection. Far from the simple beauties known to Apple, the line included branded clothing, accessories, lifestyle items scattered with bright colors and bold patterns. 5. Apple devices are always set to 9:41 in company announcements. Apple devices. If you are fond of Apple devices, you may have noticed before that the timing is often unified in the company's announcements of its modern products, and it always refers to 9:41, and this is no coincidence. According to former senior vice president of iOS Scott Forstall, 9:41 is the exact time the iPad was released in 2010. 6. Samsung manufactures Retina screens for the iPad. Apple's pixel-filled Retina display has made the iPad a popular choice for consumers. However, it will probably surprise most people that Samsung, one of Apple's main competitors in the field of smartphones, manufactures the screen for Apple devices. 7. Apple's market capitalization is greater than all but 4 countries. Apple is getting richer. Apple in 2022 became the first company to reach a market capitalization of $3 trillion, having previously broken records to become the first company with a market capitalization of $1 trillion and $2 trillion. In addition to this already impressive title, Apple's market capitalization is greater than in all but 4 countries: the USA, China, Japan, and Germany. This means that if Apple were a country, it would be richer than almost every country, including major powers such as the UK, France, and India. 8. The iPod was almost never there. An iPod. The iPod is one of Apple's most iconic products. It has revolutionized how people listen to music on personal devices. However, almost no one realizes that the iPod almost never existed as we know it today. Tony Fadell, the inventor of the iPod, had the idea to recreate portable musical devices. He first took his idea to Real Networks and Philips. It was later rejected. Apple saw potential in his idea, hired him in 2001 to lead a team of 30 people to design the iPod. 9. Carl Sagan sued Apple twice. Carl Sagan. Most people are familiar with Apple's legal battles against Epic and other tech giants. But few people probably remember that Apple was once involved in a legal battle against the famous astronomer Carl Sagan. In the early 90s, Apple engineers code-named the Power Mac 7100 Carl Sagan, hoping that it would bring them billions. When the code name was revealed in a publication, Sagan was upset to see his name associated with the product. Sagan sent Apple a cease and desist message, prompting the company to change the internal code name of the Power Mac 7100 to BHA, an abbreviation for Bit-Head Astronomer. Upon learning of this, Sagan sued Apple for defamation. The case was quickly dismissed. A second lawsuit was filed by Sagan against Apple for using his name as an internal code name, which he also lost. Sagan appealed the decision, and the company agreed to settle the dispute out of court and issued an apology. It seems that Apple engineers were not happy with the settlement, as the last code name of the Power Mac 7100 device became law, which is an abbreviation for the phrase "lawyers are wimps" and "lawyers mean cowards." 10. A MacBook Pro can stop a bullet in its path. Apple Inc. MacBook, apart from being a high-end personal laptop, the MacBook Pro also seems to function as a bulletproof protector. YouTuber 22 Plinkster wanted to answer the question, can a MacBook Pro save your life? And I was pleasantly surprised that yes, he can. So the next time you encounter an armed intruder, the MacBook Pro is probably the best thing you can own. Apple is interested in providing electronic musical devices and computers that are characterized by ease of use and creative and innovative design for both employees, students, teachers, as well as government agencies.